Ever feel overwhelmed by the complexities of modern relationships? Ghosting, mixed signals, and endless scrolling through dating apps can leave us emotionally drained. But what if ancient wisdom could guide us in navigating these challenges with calm and clarity? Stay tuned, because today we're exploring how Stoicism can transform your relationships and bring peace to your modern love life. If you're passionate about learning timeless philosophies to improve your life, relationships, and inner peace, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Welcome to Wisdom Legends, where ancient wisdom meets the modern world. Focus on what you can control. In modern relationships, it's easy to get caught up in trying to control things that are beyond your reach, like how someone feels about you, whether they text back immediately, or how they behave in a given situation. But Stoicism teaches us a powerful principle. The key to peace lies in focusing solely on what is within our control. So, what is within your control? Your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. For instance, instead of stressing over why someone hasn't replied to your message, shift your focus to how you're reacting to the situation. Are you letting anxiety take over? Pause and remind yourself that their response is outside your influence. What you can control is how you spend your time while waiting. Engage in something productive or fulfilling instead. This principle also applies to emotional conflicts in relationships. If your partner is upset, instead of trying to fix their emotions, focus on being a calm and supportive presence. Offer understanding and empathy, but don't internalize their feelings as your responsibility. By letting go of the desire to control others, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and disappointment. You also build healthier, more authentic relationships because you're not trying to manipulate or micromanage outcomes. You're simply showing up as the best version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you focus on what you can control, you create space for inner peace, even in the unpredictable world of modern relationships. Practice emotional resilience. Modern relationships often come with a whirlwind of emotions: excitement, disappointment, joy, and sometimes heartbreak. In Stoicism, the key to navigating these ups and downs is emotional resilience. This means developing the ability to remain steady and composed, no matter what comes your way. The Stoics believe that external events don't harm us. It's our interpretation of those events that causes emotional turmoil. For instance, if someone cancels plans or breaks your trust, you might feel hurt or angry. But instead of spiraling into negative emotions, ask yourself, is this situation truly bad? Or am I assigning meaning to it? One practical way to build emotional resilience is to practice premeditatio malorum, a Stoic exercise where you visualize potential setbacks or challenges in advance. For example, before entering a new relationship, imagine scenarios where things might not go as planned. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about mentally preparing yourself so you're less likely to be caught off guard. Another key practice is reminding yourself that you are not defined by external circumstances. If a relationship ends or doesn't turn out the way you hoped, it doesn't mean you're a failure. The Stoic Epictetus advised, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. By practicing emotional resilience, you can navigate modern relationships with grace. Instead of reacting impulsively to every emotional trigger, you cultivate a calm and thoughtful mindset. This makes you a stronger partner and helps you maintain a sense of self-worth, no matter the outcome. Embrace amor fati. In Stoicism, amor fati means love of fate. It's the idea of accepting everything that happens in your life, including the challenges and setbacks, as necessary parts of your journey. When applied to relationships, this mindset can be transformative. Modern relationships often come with unexpected twists, rejections, breakups, or unfulfilled expectations. Instead of dwelling on the what-ifs or wishing things had turned out differently, Stoicism encourages you to embrace these moments as opportunities for growth. For example, if a relationship ends, rather than viewing it as a failure, see it as a chapter in your life that taught you valuable lessons about yourself and what you need in a partner. This doesn't mean passively accepting unhealthy dynamics or bad behavior. It's about reframing your mindset to focus on what you've gained rather than what you've lost. By loving your fate, you let go of regret and resentment, freeing yourself to move forward with a clear and open heart. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. The challenges in your relationships aren't obstacles. They are fuel for your growth and resilience. Embrace them with gratitude and learn to see the beauty in life's imperfections. Detachment from outcomes. One of the most common struggles in modern relationships is the tendency to obsess over outcomes. Will this date lead to something serious? Will they text back? Will this relationship stand the test of time? While it's natural to hope for a positive result, attaching your happiness to an outcome is a recipe for disappointment. The Stoics teach us to focus on effort and intention rather than results. In a relationship, this means showing up as your authentic self, putting in genuine effort, and letting go of the need to control where it leads. Whether a relationship flourishes or fades, you can find peace in knowing you gave it your best. For example, imagine you express your feelings to someone, but they don't reciprocate. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt or frustration, recognize that their response is beyond your control. What is within your control is the courage you showed in being honest and vulnerable. By detaching from outcomes, you allow yourself to enjoy the present moment without the weight of unrealistic expectations. This mindset not only reduces anxiety, but also helps you approach relationships with authenticity and ease. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Letting go of the need to control outcomes liberates you to experience relationships in their truest form, a journey, not a destination. Understand your role. In relationships, it's easy to lose sight of your individuality. You might prioritize your partner's needs so much that you forget your own, or expect them to fulfill every emotional gap in your life. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our role in a relationship as a supportive partner, not as someone who sacrifices their identity or expects perfection. Understanding your role means maintaining a balance. You're there to share experiences, provide support, and grow together, but you are not responsible for fixing your partner or carrying the entire emotional weight of the relationship. For example, if your partner is struggling, you can offer empathy and a listening ear. But it's important to remember that their personal growth is their journey, not yours to control. Similarly, Stoicism encourages you to avoid relying on your partner for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Relationships thrive when both individuals maintain their independence while working as a team. Think of it like two strong trees growing side by side, rooted in their own strength but standing close enough to provide shade and shelter to one another. By understanding and respecting your role, you create a healthier, more balanced relationship where both partners can grow and thrive together. Value character over charm. In today's world of swiping left or right, relationships often begin with surface-level attractions. While physical appearance and charisma might draw you to someone initially, Stoicism emphasizes looking beyond these fleeting qualities and focusing on what truly matters, character and virtue. The Stoics believed that a person's inner values define their worth. When seeking a partner or evaluating your current relationship, ask yourself, do they demonstrate honesty, kindness, and integrity? Do they act with patience and respect, even in difficult situations? These traits form the foundation of a lasting and meaningful connection. For instance, someone might be charming and exciting on a first date, but over time, their lack of reliability or empathy could lead to frustration. On the other hand, a partner with strong character will be dependable, supportive, and trustworthy, even when the initial spark fades. By prioritizing character over charm, you're investing in a relationship built on mutual respect and shared values. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Similarly, a great relationship is not about having the most exciting partner, but one whose virtues align with your own, creating a steady and fulfilling bond. Communicate clearly. Effective communication is the backbone of any healthy relationship, and Stoicism offers valuable insights into how to communicate with clarity and purpose. The Stoics believed in speaking honestly and thoughtfully, avoiding unnecessary drama or impulsive reactions. When you approach a conversation with your partner, especially during conflicts. Focus on expressing yourself calmly and clearly. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," which can sound accusatory, try, "I feel unheard when we talk about important things." This shift reduces defensiveness and encourages constructive dialogue. Another key aspect of Stoic communication is active listening. Before responding, take a moment to truly hear what your partner is saying without interrupting or forming a rebuttal in your mind. This practice shows respect and fosters mutual understanding. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." By applying this principle, you can avoid misunderstandings and ensure your words align with your intentions. Clear communication not only strengthens your connection, but also prevents small issues from escalating into larger conflicts. Practice gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's wrong in a relationship, differences, disagreements, or unmet expectations. However, Stoicism teaches us the transformative power of gratitude. By appreciating the positives, you shift your perspective and nurture a more harmonious connection. Take time each day to reflect on what you value about your partner. It could be something as simple as their sense of humor, the way they support you during tough times, or even their small gestures of kindness, like making your favorite cup of coffee. Acknowledging these qualities helps you focus on what's going right instead of dwelling on the negatives. Expressing gratitude doesn't have to be grandiose. A heartfelt thank you or a note of appreciation can go a long way in strengthening your bond. When both partners feel seen and valued, the relationship becomes a source of mutual joy and support. Marcus Aurelius encouraged practicing gratitude by reminding himself, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." By adopting this mindset, you not only enhance your relationships, but also create a deeper sense of fulfillment in your own life. Avoid emotional overreaction. Emotions are natural, but Stoicism teaches us the importance of regulating our emotional responses. In modern relationships, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, especially when things don't go as planned. Whether it's an argument, a misunderstanding, or a hurtful comment, emotional overreaction can escalate tensions and create unnecessary conflict. The Stoic practice encourages taking a step back before reacting. Instead of immediately reacting to something your partner says or does, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this worth getting upset over? Is this something I can control? By creating space between the stimulus, the event, and your response, you allow yourself to choose a more thoughtful, calm reaction rather than being swept away by emotions. For example, if your partner says something that triggers you, rather than responding right away with frustration or anger, take a few deep breaths. You might even take a moment to step away from the situation, if needed, before returning to discuss the issue more rationally. This practice not only prevents unnecessary arguments, but also sets the tone for a more constructive and peaceful relationship. As Epictetus wisely stated, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. By controlling your reactions, you reduce emotional turmoil and contribute to a more stable, harmonious partnership. Learn from setbacks. No relationship is without its challenges. Whether it's a difficult breakup, a period of distance, or a moment of misunderstanding, setbacks are inevitable. However, Stoicism encourages us to view these setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities for growth and learning. When faced with a difficult moment, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I become a better partner or person as a result of this challenge? For example, if a relationship ends, rather than focusing on the pain of loss, consider what the experience taught you about your needs, boundaries, or emotional responses. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control every aspect of life, but we can control how we respond to challenges. Each setback is an invitation to reflect, adapt, and improve. By shifting your mindset to view obstacles as lessons, you empower yourself to become stronger and wiser, ready for the next phase of your personal or romantic journey. As Seneca put it, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Embrace the tough times in relationships with this mindset, and you'll find that they become valuable stepping stones toward greater emotional resilience and wisdom. Let go of attachment. In modern relationships, attachment can often lead to frustration and disappointment. Whether it's attachment to a specific outcome, to how you want your partner to behave, or even to the way things used to be, Stoicism teaches us to detach from our desires and expectations. While love and connection are important, Stoicism advises us not to tie our happiness to any particular person or situation. This doesn't mean abandoning love or caring less, but rather acknowledging that your well-being is not dependent on someone else's actions. For instance, if your partner is going through a difficult time and becomes emotionally distant, instead of feeling rejected or anxious, practice accepting their current state and understand it's part of their journey, not a reflection of your worth. By letting go of attachment, you create space for your own growth, independent of external circumstances. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. In relationships, this means letting go of rigid expectations and embracing the flow of life as it comes, allowing love to be a source of joy rather than a source of anxiety. Build self-worth independently. In relationships, it's easy to place your self-worth in the hands of another person, hoping they will validate or affirm your value. However, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate self-worth from within, based on our own virtues, actions, and character. When you rely on external validation for your sense of self, you create a fragile foundation. If your partner doesn't give you the attention you crave, or if things aren't going well, you may start to feel insecure or unworthy. But Stoicism reminds us that true self-worth comes from living in alignment with our values and practicing virtue, regardless of how others perceive us. Take time to nurture your inner confidence by setting goals, developing personal interests, and consistently acting with integrity. When you build a strong sense of self-worth from within, you're less likely to feel threatened or dependent on external approval. This not only enhances your emotional resilience, but also makes you a stronger and more stable partner. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you ground your self-worth in your own actions and mindset, you maintain inner peace and confidence, regardless of external circumstances. Cultivate patience. In modern relationships, impatience can be a major obstacle, especially when things don't progress as quickly as you'd like. Whether it's rushing into a new relationship, expecting your partner to change, or wanting things to be perfect right away, impatience can lead to unnecessary tension and dissatisfaction. Stoicism, however, emphasizes the value of patience, waiting for things to unfold naturally without forcing them. Patience is an essential quality for a healthy relationship because, like any meaningful connection, it takes time to develop and evolve. Instead of rushing through problems or expecting immediate results, Stoicism teaches us to trust the process. For example, if you're working through a difficult issue with your partner, don't expect an immediate resolution. Instead, take the time to understand each other's perspectives, discuss calmly, and work together toward a solution. By cultivating patience, you avoid impulsive decisions driven by frustration or impatience. You recognize that growth, both personal and relational, takes time, and that each step forward, no matter how small, is a part of the larger journey. As Seneca wisely said, time heals what reason cannot. By practicing patience, you give yourself and your relationship the necessary space to grow, thrive, and mature at its own pace. Practice self-control in conflict. In every relationship, conflicts are bound to arise. However, the way you handle conflict can determine the health and longevity of your relationship. Stoicism teaches the importance of practicing self-control in moments of tension. Instead of allowing anger, frustration, or impatience to dictate your actions, focus on maintaining calm and reasoned responses. When you find yourself in the middle of an argument or disagreement, take a moment to breathe and evaluate your emotions. Are you reacting out of anger? Are you focused on winning the argument instead of resolving it? The Stoics encourage us to be aware of these impulses and to choose our reactions wisely. For example, rather than raising your voice or making harsh comments, try to approach the situation with clarity and empathy. You could say something like, "I feel upset because of this situation, but I want to hear your perspective before we make any conclusions." This not only de-escalates the situation, but also invites constructive dialogue. By practicing self-control during conflicts, you prevent unnecessary emotional harm and strengthen the trust and respect between you and your partner. As Epictetus advised, no man is free who is not master of himself. Self-control is a key to true freedom and peace in your relationships. Prioritize inner peace. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that we cannot control external events, but we can control our internal reactions. This principle is particularly relevant in modern relationships, where external pressures, family dynamics, societal expectations, or even your partner's behavior can create stress or turmoil. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize inner peace by accepting what is beyond our control and focusing on cultivating tranquility within ourselves. If your partner behaves in a way that frustrates you, or if you're facing external stress, rather than reacting with anxiety or anger, take a step back and remember that your peace of mind is a reflection of your own choices. You have the power to choose how to respond to any situation. For instance, if a conflict arises, instead of letting emotions take over, focus on maintaining your sense of inner calm. You can do this by practicing mindfulness, taking a few deep breaths, or reminding yourself that the external situation does not have to disturb your inner peace. By prioritizing inner peace, you ensure that you can approach your relationship with clarity, patience, and understanding, no matter the external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius put it best when he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By focusing on your internal state, you empower yourself to remain grounded and resilient in all aspects of your relationships. Incorporating Stoic principles into modern relationships can transform the way we connect with others, fostering deeper understanding, emotional resilience, and a healthier sense of self. By practicing self-awareness, patience, clear communication, and emotional regulation, we create a relationship grounded in mutual respect and genuine growth. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control every aspect of a relationship, we do have the power to shape how we respond. By focusing on our own virtues, embracing the impermanence of life, and letting go of unrealistic expectations, we can navigate challenges with grace and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but rather continuous growth as individuals and as partners. As you apply these Stoic principles, you'll find that relationships become less about control and more about mutual support, understanding, and love. So, embrace Stoicism in your relationships, and you'll cultivate not just a stronger bond, but also a deeper sense of inner peace and fulfillment. Call to action. If you found this video insightful and want to dive deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism for modern life, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our community here at Wisdom Legends. Share your thoughts or any questions you may have in the comments below.